All right, everybody out of the pool. It's time to kick this off at Everbank Stadium. Mid-80s the temperature, the usual Florida humidity. We could hit 90 degrees, no rain in the forecast. Let's head down to the field. Check on the health of Houston with Jen Hale.
A litany of debilitating injuries already for the Texans, Chris. Robert had talked about the importance of better protecting C.J. Stroud. The Texans were hoping to get Laramie Tunsil back on that O-line to do just that, but no such luck. That knee's still bothering him. He didn't even make this trip. Then on defense, they are down 4 starters, 3 just in the secondary, including Derek Stingley. That hurts. The one bright spot, the debut of veteran Jimmy Ward. D'Amico Ryan's really hoping he can help calm things down on that back end, help with communication, even if it is his first time in a Texans uniform.
All right, thanks, Jen. Boy, that picture looked like a family feud with different people. Well, that's how many people are out of this game and injured.
It's always tough, especially when you stack them up in one position group.
It's like he's short of the first down. Yeah, the start, it's been like that movie with Clint Eastwood. You can almost hear the theme music, the good, the bad, and the ugly for the Texans, despite the 0-2 record. The good is, and he's added a few more passes without an interception, that Stroud has stepped right in without much of a running game in the offensive line. You see what they're averaging per carry. That's the bad. The ugly has been the offensive line with 6 on injured reserve. Again, a dozen players on injured reserve for the entire team. That's by far the most in the NFL. Is it bounce and a break for the Texans? Goes into the end zone. He'll come out to the 20-yard line with a 7-0 lead here near the beach in Jacksonville. D'Amico Ryan's the Texans head coach, 4th head coach, by the way, in the last 4 years. He played 6 seasons in Houston, Rookie of the Year, a couple of Pro Bowl selections, wound up with the Eagles later, but talked about his team this week, and he said, we've been beating ourselves. I don't know what kind of team we are. If we play just good football to start, then I'll know our identity. First down. Let's get a game break and check in with Carissa Thompson.
Thank you so much, Chris. Chargers, Vikings, both looking to avoid going 0-3. Justin Herbert, quick hitter to Donald Parham for this 3-yard score. Chargers up 7-0. Chris?
All right, thank you. Carissa will keep us updated on all the games going on in and around the league. And a first-year player from Alabama battled leukemia. He suffered injuries. Season-ending knee injury in the SEC, and this is the timeline history. Got his first NFL game action last week, had a catch. But what an inspiration as a player to the rest of the team. They were supportive of him. He's an excellent receiver when healthy. It's a feel-good story, kind of guy you root for. Knocked away. Robert Woods the target. Good defense from Darius Williams, and we check in with Carissa.
Thank you so much, Chris. The NFL's #1 offense is rolling. Tua with the no-look shovel pass to Devon A-Chain, his 2nd of the day. Broncos would add a field goal. Miami up 21-10.
Today on Fox.
It's been a tremendous start to the NFL season through 2 games. 75% of the games played close, down to 1 score in the 4th quarter. We've had great comebacks. Boy, that Giant one was absolutely amazing. And star young quarterbacks, and we have 2 of them here. C.J. Stroud will turn 22 on October 3rd, and Trevor Lawrence will turn 24 on October 6th as he gives to Etienne. Whereas the hometown Jags had trouble in their 2 field goal tries, and that was the best closest they came. What an effort by the winless Texans. We look at our first half stats brought to you by State Farm and the quarterback comparison. C.J. Stroud, the rookie, still has not thrown a pick in his pro career. Did toss a touchdown, and you see the struggles of Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, remember a week ago, the Jaguars, 271 total yards, 132 of those on the last 2 drives.
Jags will get the football to start the second half, trailing 17-0. And that's today's game flow presented by Progressive. 17-0. Texans kick it off to start the second half. Robert Smith, Chris Myers, and the Texans 0-2. 12 players on injured reserve, most in the league. 8 starters out. and they're leading on the road against a playoff team from last year. How do you figure this lead?
Hey, that's why we play the games, right? And you got to give a lot of credit to D'Amico Ryans and his entire staff. And I always felt it was easier to concentrate and easier to be focused when you had a road trip. Forget about those games before. We got a road trip. We got a business mindset as soon as we start packing and going on the road. And then if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars, yes, they had a good week of practice, but that has got to translate to the field. Too many penalties, especially on the offensive side. You had the fumble. They just look completely out of sorts and unfocused.
And C.J. Stroud continues to amaze. Jamal Agnew trying to make something happen from his own goal line. And moves up across the 30. Check that spot. Pretty good position around the 33. Let's check in with Jen.
Chris, I asked D'Amico Ryans what is clicking so well with this defense today despite all of those injuries. And he says this is what happens when you learn from your failures and your mistakes and you still stick together. He's very proud of what his group has done. Meanwhile, Doug Peterson feeling the exact opposite. When I asked him what he was going to say to instill a sense of urgency in this team, he said, not really fit for TV, but I'll tell you, I find it unacceptable and awful what they did in that first half.
Well, I'd love to hear what D'Amico Ryans said to his team before this game, because in the first two, they didn't look like anything that they're looking like today. There are two rookies named Tank in this game. Tank Dell of the Texans, Tank Bigsby of the Jags. The tale of the Tanks. Bigsby a touchdown, already a few catches for Dell. And so far they're doing their part as pros for their teams.
I love it. They have a guy like Tank Dell, who's 5'10", 165, nicknamed Tank, but it was because of his big old head, his mom said when he was little.
Yeah, and Bigsby because he kept running into things. That's why he was named Tank. His real name, again, is Cartavius. Tank Dell is named Nathaniel, so you can see, and he was such a star at Houston returning punts. This is Tank Dell's major contribution on the 46-yarder that set up the Texans' first touchdown, and then moments ago, Tank Bigsby for the other guys.
And you can see.
Thank you very much.
Very well done. Did you write that?
No. The writer's strike. Come on.
Oh yeah. Oh well, we don't want to talk about that. Tank Dell. Hey, you can tell he had to lean back for that one. He's got speed to burn.
Both drafted in the third round. All right, enough similarities. Let's get back to the game where second half Jags are back to within 7.
Iron Man.
Big noon Saturday. You don't want to miss it. Coach Prime, Lincoln Riley. It's Colorado up against reigning Heisman Trophy winner Caleb Williams and USC. It starts at 10 Eastern with big noon kickoff, and they're back in Boulder. And then it's USC and Colorado Saturday at noon Eastern time. Buffalo's Colorado. Coach Prime took a whipping yesterday. And that should be a fun one to watch. Pressure was on and the pass off the hands of Evan Ingram. Let's get a game break with Carissa.
Thank you, Chris. So the Chargers were already up 14-10 over the Vikings. Justin Herbert throws it backwards to Keenan Allen, who's going to throw this one to a wide open Mike Williams. A 49-yard touchdown. Chargers up 21-10 in Minnesota. Chris?
All right, thank you. Chargers trying to get their first win of the season like D'Amico Ryans and the Texans are trying to do. Ryans trying to get his first win as an NFL head coach. With Robert Smith, Jen Hale on the field, I'm Chris Myers. Jag fans enjoying the sun. The Jags not enjoying the score. This is how it's gone by quarter. 14-point deficit for the home team, and the Texans have the football trying to get some more. And shout out to Frank Ross, special teams coach of the Texans, along with the entire staff. A blocked field goal and a run back for a kickoff for a touchdown. 27-10 in the fourth.
Daft Punk.
C.J. Stroud, rookie quarterback, second overall pick. By the way, the only one with Bryce Young and Anthony Richardson out injured today. The only one of those top three who's actually playing. Look what he's done in 2+ games. 2 games and 3 quarters, and where he's ranked first 3 games in NFL history in terms of passing yardage. Just behind Justin Herbert, ahead of Patrick Mahomes, and again has not thrown a pick. That's really impressive.
New head coach, new offensive coordinator, rookie quarterback.
Beat up offensive line.
It's even more impressive considering all of those factors.
Trevor Lawrence, #1 overall pick. a few years ago, has some work to do. And he'll start at the 25-yard line. And Jacksonville give the Texans their due, and their special teams unit, they block Brandon McManus first time of his career, and that set up an easy score. And then Andrew Beck on what was a muffed punt, officially 85 yards for a touchdown. And then the defense.
Boy, it's really just been an amazing day. And see Trevor Lawrence throwing that last interception. I mean, you saw him smiling, walking off the field like, I don't know. It seems like the team really all day long, all three phases, no sense of urgency.
Clock running. All 3 timeouts for Jacksonville. Have a player down. It's ETN. We'll hope that he's okay. Let's check in for a game break with Carissa.
Thanks so much, Chris. Letting you guys know what's coming up next. Most of you will see Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs hosting the Bears at Arrowhead, while the rest of you will watch Dak Prescott and the Cowboys take on the Cardinals on the road in Arizona. America's Games of the Week coming up next.
All right, thank you very much. Boy, the Chiefs were in here last Sunday, and the defense did a good job in a losing effort. But today, for a number of reasons, not only special teams, well, C.J. Stroud probably the factor. Him and Dell have been outstanding. We're checking on each.
Chris, you know, C.J. Stroud has quite the interesting pregame routine warm-ups. I've never seen anything quite like it. You know, he started his athletic career as a basketball player, a point guard. So he uses all sorts of different sports mediums to warm up. A golf swing, throwing the baseball, swinging a baseball bat, and his favorite is right here, warming up with a basketball. You can see those point guard skills at work today, that's for sure. He says warming up with the basketball helps his wrist action throwing a football as well.
The decathlete of NFL quarterbacks, whatever he's doing, it works. And after this for Jacksonville, so they get the win over the Colts. They lose at home to the Chiefs, slipping away here against the Texans. They'll go over to London for back-to-back games. The Falcons, they're going to be the host in that one, and then the Bills will be the home team. And that'll be a lengthy trip, but the Jags' history across the pond, they're experienced over there, and maybe they can turn things around.
Well, you just never know what it takes to reset a team. And I'm sure Doug Peterson, he reached into his bag of tricks and did everything that he could during the course of the week. And I'm not taking any of the blame off of him, because coaches will always tell you ultimately the performance of our team is on them.
Second charge, timeout.
But again, you can't go out and play for them. You have mistakes that are being made, penalties, interceptions, fumbles, false starts, all kinds of things over the last couple of weeks. Just about anything wrong that they could have done, they've done.
Disappointing for Trevor Lawrence, and I think if you're a Jags fan, maybe you're a little bit concerned about that. Not sure how concerned the Jags or Doug Peterson are, but C.J. Stroud, I mean, we're seeing a terrific, as we mentioned, the other 2 quarterbacks that were drafted along with him in that opening round. Hurt, not playing today. He's played every snap for the Texans. He's put up incredible numbers, and again with an undermanned team that is finding itself with injury and young players and a rookie head coach. And he got a lot of support from his special teams today, along with his defense. Fairbairn, the field goal, 37-17, as he nails it from 33 yards away. Look, he's still, it's like he's working the crowd over here. Here is his day. 2nd overall pick. Bryce Young was the first quarterback. Anthony Richardson drafted after him. The big play to Tank Dell, 46 yards, set up a touchdown. And then this one to his tight end. Got out in front. They had their first lead of the season and didn't let go. And then the big one with the blitz on, 68 yards. His numbers, not just in this game, but throughout the start of his career.
Well, I just love it, and you see the energy. You know, people were so excited about DeMeco Ryans becoming a head coach, and obviously Texans fans saw him as a player. But just to hear the players, and these things are easy to say, but the proof of whether they're true is how you play on the field. But remember last week, Will Anderson said, I would literally run through a wall for DeMeco Ryans. And we know he literally could run through a wall. But these guys just love playing for him. But more importantly, really paid attention and executed their assignments today.
Jamal Agnew from the 1-yard line on the return of the kickoff. And special teams fighting hard. He barely got back to the 12-yard line. Tackle made by Mike Boone. Let's get a game break with Carissa.
Thank you so much, Chris. So the Packers were down 17-11. They've come all the way back from the 17-0 deficit. Jordan Love finds Romeo Doubs for this score. Extra point gives them the lead. Packers up 18-17. About 2 minutes left.
All right, thank you. C.J. Beathard has come in. Coach's decision, we're assuming, as well as he's throwing. Johnson carries. Clock running down. Quarterback comparison today. Again, no turnovers for Stroud. 20 out of 30. That's the kind of accuracy, and especially on third down. High percentage of completions to get his team a first down.
Yeah, and this wasn't the first time that he performed well on the road on third down and in other situations. Did it in Baltimore week one. And he really has led by example that Texans team.
Jags will fall to 1-2. Texans will go to 1-2, and he moves now. It's official. First 3 career starts to the top of the list. C.J. Stroud, most pass attempts without an interception. First 3 games of your career. What a performance from Stroud on the Texans. 37-17. Ted